How did one smiling beach photo turn into a folder of papers placed in my hands in a bright office lobby? Why did my husband stay calm, say almost nothing, and still make sure everyone saw the result at the same time? My name is Ligea Harper, but everyone calls me Gia. I was 33, and I worked as a social media coordinator for a dental chain. My job was simple. I made happy posts, bright colors, and clean smiles. I told myself I was good at reading people. I told myself I was good at making a story feel true. At home, I used the same skill. I just did not call it that. Ethan was my husband. He was 35 and worked in IT security. He liked quiet. He liked plans. He liked rules. When we first met, I said his calm felt safe. Later, I said his calm felt cold. I said he did not see me. I said I had to push him so he would wake up. I also said I deserved fun because I carried so much. I still think I was right. That week started in our kitchen. The light was grey and the floor was cold. I made coffee and scrolled my phone. Ethan stood by the sink, rinsing his mug like he always did. He asked why I was smiling at my screen. I said it was work, and I had a new campaign idea. He asked if it was Cameron again. I said he was only a friend, and Ethan needed to stop acting weird. Ethan said he did not like how Cameron talked to me late at night. I said Ethan was making a big deal over nothing. Ethan said he was not trying to control me, but he needed respect. I said respect followed results, and I had results. Cameron was my guy friend. That was how I named him in every room. He was a travel photographer and always had a fresh story. He knew how to look at a camera like life was a movie. He was not my type, I told myself. He was only fun. He was only easy. When Ethan asked how often Cam messaged me, I said not much. When Ethan asked why Cam used heart emojis, I said it was his style. When Ethan asked why I hid my screen, I said he was spying. I flipped it on him fast, because that made him defend himself instead of asking about me. After breakfast, I went to work. The office was open plan, with bright lights and too many voices. I sat with my team and smiled like a poster. I liked being seen there. People listened to me. People laughed at my jokes. At home, Ethan listened too, but he did not clap. That difference mattered to me more than I admitted. In the break room, my friend Tessa asked why I looked tired. I said Ethan was stressing me out with jealousy. She asked if I meant the no beach trip thing. I said he was giving me an ultimatum, like I was a child. Tessa said men did that when they felt weak. I told her she was right, and I felt warm from it. I texted my sister Maris. She replied fast, like she was waiting. She asked if Ethan still acted like my dad. I said yes, and I added extra drama because it fed me. Maris said I should not bend. She said I should show him I could live. She said if I let him win once, he would keep taking. I did not say that I liked the idea of winning. I just said I needed peace. I said I needed air. I said Ethan was too intense. Even as I typed it, I felt proud. It was easy to turn my wants into needs. That night, Ethan tried again, but he stayed calm. He asked if I could stop talking to Cam late. I said Ethan was punishing me for having friends. He asked if I could at least keep things respectful online. I said he was scared of my happiness. He asked if I planned to go to the beach with Cam. I said it was a group trip. He asked who was going. I said a few people, and I named 2 women first, like that should solve it. He asked if Cam would be there. I said yes, and I waited for him to react. He did not shout. He did not hit walls. He just looked tired. Ethan said he could not live in a marriage where I used public posts to poke him. He said if I went on that trip and posted a couple-style photo with Cam, it would be a deal-breaker for him. He did not say it like a threat. He said it like a boundary. I still treated it like a threat. I told him he was trying to control my body and my choices. He asked why everything had to be a fight. I said it was not a fight, it was my life. He asked why I needed to prove anything. I said because he did not trust me. He said trust came from actions, not speeches. I said he was twisting things. The next morning, I watched him while he packed his lunch. His movements were neat. I noticed small changes. His phone was turned face down more often. His keys had a new key on the ring. He rinsed his mug and put it on the far side of the counter, away from mine. 2 mugs, 2 sides. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was doing it to guilt me, but it also felt like he was stepping back on purpose. That made my stomach tighten. While he tied his shoes, his phone lit up. I saw it because I was staring. It was a calendar reminder, simple and plain. Meeting, personal, 10:40 a.m. No details, no names. He noticed my eyes and turned the screen down again. He asked if I needed the car later. I said no, even though I did. He nodded like he was checking boxes. I wanted to ask what the meeting was. I wanted to act casual and pretend I did not care. Instead, I said he was being secretive lately. He asked how that was different from me hiding my screen. I said it was different because he was my husband, and I deserved openness. He did not argue. He just picked up his bag and left. I stood there in the kitchen with my coffee cooling. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I told myself it would not work. I opened my phone and looked at Cam's last message. He had sent a beach emoji and wrote that I deserved fun. I felt angry at Ethan, like he forced me into this. I felt sure that if I posted the right story, people would take my side. I also felt a quiet, sharp worry I did not want to name. I pushed it down and started planning the trip anyway. At work, I tried to focus on my campaigns, but my mind kept running in circles. I kept seeing Ethan's calm face and that meeting personal reminder. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was only trying to look mysterious, so I would chase him. I did not chase. I planned the weekend instead. In the office break room, Tessa leaned close and asked if Ethan had backed down. I said he was still acting controlling. She asked what he did this time. I said he gave me an ultimatum about the beach trip. I said he was afraid of me having fun. Tessa rolled her eyes and said men loved rules when they had no charm. I laughed too loud, because it made me feel strong. I opened our group chat and typed that I needed a night out. I wrote that I wanted to breathe. I did not write that I wanted to win. Cameron texted me around lunch. He asked if I was still coming to the beach with the group. I said yes. He said he knew a rooftop bar that would reset my mood. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself Ethan was the one making it weird. I said yes to Cameron. Then I looked at my calendar like I was a serious adult with plans. I saw a sticky note on my desk that said bring forms, but it was for a work event. Still, it made me think of Ethan's quiet meeting, and I felt annoyed. I told myself he was copying me, trying to act organized like me. That evening, I met Tessa and Maris at the rooftop bar downtown. The place had heat lamps and a wide view of the city lights. People took photos of their drinks like it was a job. Cameron arrived late, smiling like the night belonged to him. He asked how I was. I said I was tired of being treated like a problem. He said I deserved better energy. I liked how easy he made it sound. I liked that he did not ask what I did wrong. We took pictures fast. Tessa said my hair looked perfect under the lights. Maris said I looked younger without Ethan around. Cameron stood close when the photos were taken, like it was natural. I did not step away. I told myself it was just a frame. I told myself Ethan was not here, so it did not matter. I posted one photo in my stories with a caption about choosing peace. I knew Ethan would see it. I told myself he deserved to feel a little nervous. Later, Maris asked if I wanted to go further and post a line about control. I said I did not want drama, but I also said people needed to understand my side. I wrote another story that said I was done with jealous rules. I did not name Ethan, but it was clear. Tessa replied with a flame emoji. Cameron said it was brave. I felt like the main character. I told myself Ethan had pushed me here. When I got home, the apartment felt too quiet. Ethan was in the living room with the TV off. He asked where I was. I said I was with friends and I needed air. He asked why I did not tell him it was a rooftop bar with Cameron. I said he did not own my schedule. He said he only wanted basic respect. I said respect meant trusting me. He asked why I posted those messages about control. I said I was speaking my truth. He said it was not truth if it was meant to shame him. I said he was making it about himself again. Ethan did something that bothered me more than yelling. He did not argue longer. He stood up, walked to the kitchen, and rinsed his mug. He placed it on the far counter again, separate from mine. Then he went to the guest room without slamming a door. I followed him halfway and asked why he was acting like a stranger. He asked why I needed a reaction so badly. I said I needed him to care. He said caring did not mean fighting. I said he was punishing me with silence. He said he was protecting his peace. I hated that word from him. It sounded like my word. The next day at work, my manager Jordan tapped my desk and asked if I had a minute. His voice was careful. He led me to a small meeting room with a glass wall. He said someone had emailed HR about my posts. He said it mentioned the company name in my profile, and it looked messy. I said it was my personal life, and people were overreacting. He said the company did not like public conflict tied to staff accounts. I said I was the one being attacked at home, not the attacker. I said I was just sharing a message about empowerment. Jordan asked if I could keep it neutral for a while. I said I would, but inside I felt insulted. Back at my desk, I texted Maris that even my job was getting involved. She replied that Ethan must have done it. She said he was trying to ruin me. I stared at that message and felt my anger spike. I told myself it made sense. I told myself Ethan would go that far. I did not stop to ask why a random coworker could not have complained. I chose the story that made Ethan the villain because it gave me a clean reason to keep going. That afternoon, Ethan called me once. I watched the screen ring and I did not answer. I wanted him to feel ignored. A few minutes later, I saw a missed call from no caller ID. I felt a small chill, then I laughed at myself. I told myself it was spam. Still, I checked my stories again and again, watching who viewed them. Ethan viewed them. He did not reply to any of them. That lack of response felt like a wall. When I got home, Ethan was cooking dinner for Mia. He asked if I could sit and eat with them. I said I was busy and needed a shower. Mia asked why Daddy was quiet. I said he had a lot on his mind. Ethan did not correct me. After Mia went to bed, Ethan asked if we could talk in private. I said I was tired. He asked if I understood what the beach photo would mean. I said it would mean I was living my life. He asked if I wanted to stay married. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being clear. I went to the bedroom and scrolled through beach condo listings. I checked flight times. I checked outfits. I felt excited, like I was building a new version of myself. Then I heard a soft click from the guest room, like a drawer locking. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself Ethan was only trying to scare me again. I kept planning anyway, and I made sure Cameron knew it. I went to the gym after work like it was a statement. I wore a bright set I knew looked good on camera. I told myself it was health. I told myself it was self-care. But it was also proof. Proof that I could move without Ethan's permission. Cameron met me in the gym lobby. He said he was in the area and had time. I said it was fine because we were just talking. He asked if Ethan was still acting strict. I said Ethan was trying to control me and I was tired of it. Cameron said a confident woman did not ask for approval. I liked that line. It sounded clean. It sounded like I was the hero. While we waited for the smoothie bar, I noticed Ethan's name pop up on my phone. He called once and I let it ring. Cameron asked if I would answer. I said Ethan would only start another fight. Cameron said I was right to protect my peace. I did not say that ignoring Ethan felt like power. I just did it. When I got home later, Ethan was already there. He was in the living room with Mia's homework on the table. Mia looked up and asked if I could help with spelling. I said I would in a minute. Ethan asked where I was. I said the gym. He asked if Cameron was there. I said yes, because I refused to act guilty about a friend. Ethan asked why I did not answer his call. I said I was busy and he should not check on me like a parent. He said he was not checking. He was trying to plan dinner for Mia. I said he could decide without me. Ethan did not raise his voice. That calm made me mad. I wanted him to show something big so I could point at it. He asked if I could sit and talk after Mia went to bed. I said we could talk, but I also said he needed to stop accusing me. He said he was asking questions, not accusing. I said questions could be accusations. He looked at me for a long second, then nodded like he was writing it down in his head. After Mia went to bed, Ethan asked if I had time for a real talk. I said yes, but I stayed standing, like I could leave any time. He asked if I could explain the beach plan clearly. He asked who booked it, who was going, and how long I would stay. I said it was a group trip and he was overthinking. He asked for names. I gave 2 women's names fast. He asked if Cameron was sharing a room with anyone. I said he was not my problem. He asked if he could see the booking. I said no, because he did not get to audit my life. Ethan asked why I was so defensive. I said because he was trying to trap me. He said he was trying to understand. I said he understood enough. He asked if I would still post photos with Cameron. I said I would post what I wanted. He said he wanted to be clear again. If I posted a couple-style beach photo with Cameron, it would break the marriage for him. I laughed like it was silly. I said he was acting like an old man. Ethan said he was not joking. I said he was making me choose between my freedom and his comfort. He said he was choosing respect and stability for Mia. I said he was using Mia as a weapon. He said he was not using anyone. He said he was drawing a line. The next day, I told Maris about the line. She asked if Ethan threatened me. I said yes, because it sounded stronger. Maris said he was playing games. She said I should remind him he could lose me. I did not say I wanted him to fear losing me. I said I only wanted fairness. Maris said fairness meant Ethan stopped acting like a guard. She told me to bring the group out again so people could see I was not hiding. I agreed fast. That evening, we met in a downtown parking garage first, because Cameron said it was easier to ride together. I got in his car. It smelled like sunscreen even though it was winter. Cameron asked if Ethan was behaving. I said Ethan was trying to scare me with ultimatums. Cameron said I should not respond to fear. He said I should respond with confidence. He asked if I planned to post from the trip. I said yes. He smiled and said it would look amazing. My phone buzzed again. Ethan called. I did not answer again. Then I got a message preview from Ethan that asked what time I would be home, because Mia had a school note due. I felt a small sting, but I told myself Ethan was trying to pull me back with chores. I replied that I would handle it tomorrow. That was not true, and I knew it. When we reached the club, the patio was crowded and loud. It was not a wild place, but it was full of eyes. People leaned close to hear each other. People lifted phones for pictures. That kind of scene always made me feel important. Tessa was already there with 2 other friends. She hugged me and said I looked free. I said I was finally choosing myself. Cameron stood beside me like we were a team. Someone asked where Ethan was. I said he did not like crowds. I said he stayed home to sulk. Tessa laughed and said he always acted like a victim. I said he liked to make me feel guilty. The more I spoke, the bigger the story got. I did not say that Ethan cooked dinner and checked Mia's homework. I said he watched my life like a guard camera. I said I was tired of being treated like a suspect. People nodded. That nodding felt like permission. Tessa raised her glass and said we should toast to no more controlling men. A few people echoed it. I smiled and lifted my drink too. Cameron said I deserved a partner who celebrated me. I said I already celebrated myself. I could feel the group energy climb, and I let it. I wanted Ethan to be the bad guy in a room he could not enter. Later, my phone buzzed again. It was a missed call from no caller ID. I stared at it longer than I should have. Cameron asked what it was. I said it was nothing. I put the phone away, but my skin felt tight. When I checked again, I saw a notification from my phone settings that a location service had been used recently. I told myself it was normal. I told myself I was not being tracked. Still, I felt watched, and that made me angry. Anger was easier than fear. When I got home after midnight, the apartment was quiet. Ethan was not in the living room. The guest room door was closed. I passed it and heard a soft beep from inside, like a device starting or stopping. I froze for a second. Then I told myself I was imagining it. I told myself Ethan was too boring to do anything real. In the kitchen, I saw a laptop open on the table. The screen showed a spreadsheet with rows and dates, but I could not read the headers from where I stood. I felt annoyed, like he was making a case against me. I also felt a strange heat in my throat. I closed the laptop without saving anything, like that would erase the idea. In bed, I scrolled through my photos from the night. I chose the ones where Cameron and I looked closest because it looked like fun. I told myself Ethan needed to learn. I told myself this was the only way he would stop controlling me. Sometimes, even now, I tell myself that same thing. Then I set an alarm for the morning and fell asleep with my phone in my hand. The dinner at the family restaurant was my idea. I told myself it was for peace. I said I wanted everyone to understand each other, but I also wanted a stage. I wanted witnesses. I wanted Ethan to sit there and feel small while I looked calm and reasonable. We met at a long table under warm lights. The place was loud with plates and soft music. My mother, Paula, arrived first and kissed my cheek like I was the star. My father, Noah, came after her, slower, like he already felt tired. My sister Maris slid into the seat beside me and put her phone on the table face up, ready for anything. Ethan came with Mia. He held Mia's hand and spoke softly to her. He asked if she wanted the kids' menu. She nodded and leaned into him. That should have made me feel safe. Instead, it made me feel replaced. Ethan greeted everyone politely. He asked Paula how she was feeling. He asked Noah about work. He asked Maris about her new apartment. His manners were too good. It made me look worse if I acted sharp. So I smiled and acted sweet, like I was the bigger person. Paula started fast. She asked Ethan why he was making me walk on eggshells. Ethan said he was not trying to control me. He said he only wanted respect and clear boundaries. Paula said boundaries were a fancy word for control. I nodded like it was truth. Noah looked down at his menu. Maris asked Ethan why he was so focused on a beach trip. Ethan said it was not the beach that hurt him. He said it was the way I used public posts to shame him. I laughed a little and said he was sensitive. Ethan turned to me and asked if I could stop talking about our marriage online. I said I only posted general messages. I said if he felt attacked, it was because he had a guilty mind. He said guilt did not apply here. He said the issue was respect. I said respect meant trusting me with my friends. He asked why Cameron had to be part of that. I said Cameron was only a friend and Ethan was obsessed. Paula said Ethan sounded jealous. Maris said he sounded insecure. I watched Ethan's face carefully. I wanted him to snap. He did not. Barbara, Ethan's mother, arrived late. She sat down slowly and looked at me like she had already read me. She asked how Mia was doing at school. I answered too bright and said Mia was great. Barbara asked if Mia was sleeping well. I said yes, but my voice went tight because I knew it was not fully true. Mia had started waking up and asking for Ethan. When Barbara asked Ethan if he was doing okay, he said he was managing and he wanted things calm for Mia. That calm again. That calm felt like a wall. Dennis, Ethan's father, listened more than he spoke. When he did speak, he asked Ethan if he had support. Ethan said yes. He said he was handling it step by step. He did not look at me when he said it. I felt a small chill. The waiter brought food. Everyone tried to act normal, but the tension sat on the table like another plate. Mia ate fries and watched the adults. She asked why we all sounded tight. I told her we were just tired. Ethan said we were having a serious talk, and it was not her job to fix it. That line made me angry, because it made him look like the good parent. I said he was being dramatic in front of her. He said he was being honest in a calm way. Barbara nodded once, like she approved. Paula pushed again. She said Ethan should stop with ultimatums. Ethan said he had not threatened me. He said he had set a boundary for the marriage. Maris asked what that even meant. Ethan said it meant he would not stay in a marriage where I acted single online. I cut in fast and said I was not acting single. I said Ethan was twisting photos into stories. Dennis asked what photos. I said it was nothing, just a rooftop group photo. Ethan said the words control and jealous rules came from my account. I said I used those words because I felt trapped. Noah finally looked up and asked if I really felt trapped. I did not answer the real question. I said I felt unsupported. That was easier. Barbara told me she had seen my posts. She said she did not like how I made Ethan the joke. I said she was biased because she was his mother. She said being his mother did not change what she could see. I said Ethan had been cold for months. Ethan asked what I meant by cold. I said he did not initiate affection, he did not chase me, he did not fight for me. Dennis asked why a husband should fight like it was a game. I said marriage needed passion. Ethan said passion did not mean humiliation. My cheeks burned, and I smiled wider to hide it. After dinner, in the parking lot, Maris hugged me and said Ethan was trying to embarrass me. She said I should not let him. Paula said Ethan needed to grow up. Noah stayed quiet. He waited until Paula walked ahead, then he told me softly that I was playing with fire. I told him he did not understand modern relationships. He asked if I understood consequences. I told him Ethan would cool down like always. Noah looked at Ethan, then back at me, and did not argue. That silence from my father felt heavy. The next day, I went to school pickup. The line was slow, full of cars and small waves between parents. I saw Ethan's car 2 spots ahead. His car was pointed toward the street, ready to leave fast. I told myself that meant nothing. When Mia came out, she ran to Ethan first and grabbed his hand. She waved at me after, like I was second. I smiled at her and acted normal. Ethan asked if we could talk about the beach trip again. I said we already talked. He said he needed a clear answer. Was I going, and was Cameron going? I said yes, and I said it like it was a test. Ethan nodded once. He did not beg. He did not threaten. He said he wanted everything to stay calm for Mia, and he would not argue in the pickup line. I said he was doing it for attention. He said he was doing it for dignity. When we got home, Mia went to her room. Ethan went to the guest room and closed the door. A few minutes later, I heard a printer sound, then nothing, like it spit out a blank page and stopped. Later, when I walked past the hallway, I caught a faint toner smell. I stood there, listening. I heard a soft click again, like a drawer locking. I told myself Ethan was only trying to scare me. I told myself I could still control the story. Then my phone buzzed with a message from Cameron asking if I had picked a swimsuit yet, and I smiled like I was already at the beach. I left for the beach trip on a Friday morning, like I was doing something brave. I told myself it was only a weekend. I told myself Ethan would cool down. I told myself he was dramatic because he wanted power. I packed fast and loud so he would notice. Ethan did not try to stop me. He helped Mia put on her shoes and asked what she wanted for breakfast. That normal tone made me angry because it did not match my story of him being a villain. In the hallway, Ethan asked where I would be staying. I said it was a group place near the boardwalk. He asked for the address. I said he did not need it because I was an adult. He said he needed it for Mia in case of an emergency. I said I would message it later. He asked if Cameron was going. I said yes, and I did not blink. Ethan nodded once, like he was saving the answer inside his head. He asked what time I would be back. I said Sunday night. He said okay, and asked if I could call Mia once a day. I said yes, like I was doing him a favor. On the drive, my phone buzzed with messages. Tessa wrote that this was my freedom weekend. Maris wrote that Ethan needed to learn I was not his property. Cameron wrote that he had good light for photos, and I should bring something bright. I liked that he thought about me. I told myself it was harmless attention. I told myself Ethan should have given me attention like that. I still think I was right. When we reached the beach town, the air smelled like salt and food carts. The boardwalk was busy even in cooler weather. People carried coffee and wore hoodies. Cameron walked beside me with a camera bag. He asked if Ethan texted yet. I said Ethan was probably sulking. Cameron said Ethan wanted to scare me with his deal-breaker talk. I laughed and said Ethan would not do anything serious. I said he liked to look tough, but he always came back to me. Cameron said I sounded sure. I told him I was sure. We checked into the rented condo. It was not fancy, but it had a balcony and a good view of the water. Tessa and another friend were in the other room. I made sure the setup sounded innocent if anyone asked. I told myself it was smart to plan the details like that. I told myself I was being careful, not guilty. I changed clothes and went outside on the boardwalk with Cameron. He lifted his camera and said the light was perfect. He asked if I wanted a simple shot, like a travel photo, or something that looked more personal. I said we could do both. I told myself it was just content. I told myself Ethan had no right to control my content. Cameron stood close and asked if I could lean in a little. I did. I felt the attention like warmth. My phone buzzed. Ethan called. I watched it ring and I did not answer. Cameron asked why I did not pick up. I said Ethan would only try to ruin my mood. Cameron said I should not reward control. I told myself ignoring Ethan was healthy. I told myself boundaries meant I did not have to answer. Then I saw the next notification. A text from Ethan asking if Mia could talk to me before bed. That one pulled at me, but I pushed it away. I replied that I would call later. I did not call later. At dinner, we sat at a casual place near the beach. Tessa took pictures of the table. She told me to pose like I was carefree. I posed. Cameron took a short video of me laughing, and I told myself it proved I was alive. I kept thinking about Ethan's ultimatum, and my pride rose up again. I wanted proof that I could step over his line and still be fine. Back at the condo, Cameron asked if I wanted to post the beach photo tonight. He said the timing mattered. He said if I waited, it would look less real. That was the point, really. I wanted it to look real. I wanted Ethan to see it in real time and feel it. I told myself it was not cruel. I told myself it was a lesson. I told myself Ethan forced me into this by being controlling. I scrolled through the photos. In one, Cameron and I stood close with the water behind us. The angle made it look like a couple picture, even if it was not. I chose that one. I wrote a caption about choosing joy and not living by fear. I did not write Ethan's name, but the message was clear. Before I posted, my phone buzzed again. Ethan called a second time. This time I answered, because I wanted to sound calm and superior. Ethan asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and he needed to relax. He asked if Cameron was with me right now. I said yes, because I refused to act ashamed. Ethan asked if I remembered what he said about posting a couple-style photo. I said he could not tell me what a photo meant. Ethan said he was not trying to control me. He said he was warning me about consequences. I said consequences were his choice, not mine. He asked if I could at least call Mia. I said I would later. Ethan said Mia missed me. I said he was trying to guilt me. Ethan got quiet for a moment. Then he said he would not argue on the phone. He said he wanted things calm for Mia. He asked one last time if I planned to post that kind of photo. I said yes. I said he needed to accept that I had friends. After I hung up, I felt shaky. I did not like that he did not beg. I did not like that he did not shout. It felt like he was stepping away from the game. I told myself he was bluffing. I told myself he would wake up when he saw the post, and he would fight for me again. I posted the photo. Within minutes, Tessa reacted with hearts. Maris sent a message that said I looked unstoppable. Cameron wrote that I looked like I belonged to myself. I watched the viewers list like it was a scoreboard. Ethan viewed it, then he viewed it again. He did not reply. That silence landed harder than any angry text. The next morning, I finally called Mia. She asked when I was coming home. I said Sunday night. She asked if Daddy was mad. I said Daddy was just tired. Ethan's voice came on the line after, calm and short. He asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if I could send the condo address just for safety. I said sure, and then I did not send it because I still wanted to hold power. Ethan did not fight me for it. He said okay, and ended the call. The call ended like a door closing. On Sunday, the drive home felt longer. My phone stayed quiet. Cameron joked about another trip later, but his voice sounded less confident now. I nodded and pretended to smile. Inside, I kept checking my apps. I saw a CloudSync alert on my own phone that said a backup was complete. I thought about Ethan's laptop glow and his dates and rows. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself he was too soft to act. When I got home, the apartment looked normal, but it felt staged. Mia ran to me and hugged me, then looked over my shoulder like she was checking Ethan's face. Ethan stood a few steps back. He did not touch me. He asked if I was hungry. I said no. I asked why he was acting so cold. He said he was not cold, he was clear. I followed him into the living room and asked if he was going to punish me forever. He asked what I thought punishment meant. I said he was withholding love to control me. He said love was not a weapon, but respect was not optional. I said he was overreacting to a photo. He said the photo was not the only thing. He said it was the last thing. I tried to laugh. I tried to turn it into a fight I could win. I said he would regret making threats. Ethan looked at me without anger. He looked tired, but steady. Then he said, very calm, that he would handle it properly. On Monday morning, I went to work like nothing happened. I wore a clean blouse and put on my I am fine face. I told myself Ethan's properly line was just talk. I told myself he was too soft to do real damage. I told myself I was still the one who decided the mood of the house. At my desk, I opened my scheduling tool and started drafting a post about fresh starts. It felt smart, like I could get ahead of the story. My phone stayed quiet. No angry texts. No sad calls. That silence started to feel heavy. I kept checking the viewers list on my old beach story, even though it was gone. I kept replaying Ethan's calm tone, and it made my chest tight. Around late morning, Jordan, my manager, sent me a message and asked if I could come downstairs for a quick building thing. He did not use emojis. He did not add a smile. I replied that I was busy, but he wrote back that it would only take a minute. I told myself it was about work. I told myself I could handle any meeting. I grabbed my badge and walked to the elevator. The office tower lobby was bright and cold. People moved through it like water, fast and polite. The security desk sat near the entrance, and 2 guards watched screens. I saw Jordan near a set of chairs by the glass wall. He stood stiff, like he wanted to disappear. I also saw Ethan. Ethan wore his work clothes, neat and simple. He stood with a straight back, hands relaxed at his sides. His face looked tired, but not broken. Next to him, his mother Barbara sat with her purse on her lap. His father Dennis stood nearby, quiet and solid. They did not glare at me. They did not smirk. That calm made me feel small. I walked up and asked Jordan what this was. Jordan said it was not a work issue, but it happened in the building, so security had to be aware. I asked why Ethan was here, Jordan said he did not know the details and he did not want to be involved. That answer made me angry because it meant no one was on my side. I turned to Ethan and asked what he was doing. Ethan said he was doing what he said he would do, properly. I said he was being dramatic over a photo. Ethan said it was not only the photo, he said it was the pattern. I told him he was twisting normal friendship into betrayal. Ethan said he was not twisting anything, and he had records. A woman I did not know stepped forward from near the security desk. She held a small folder. She asked if I was Ligea Harper. I said yes, and my voice sounded too loud in the open space. She asked me to confirm my identity with my badge. I lifted it without thinking. She nodded once, then held out the folder and said she was serving me legal documents. I froze. I looked at Ethan like he was playing a joke. He did not look away. He did not smile. He stayed calm, like this was a planned meeting on his calendar. I felt heat rush to my face. I asked the woman what the papers were. She said it was a divorce filing and related temporary orders. She said I could read them, and she could not give advice. I took the folder with shaking hands. The paper felt heavier than paper should feel. I flipped the top page and saw court words and dates and lines that looked final. I saw my name typed cleanly. I saw Ethan's name typed cleanly. I saw that this was not a threat. This was a process already started. Jordan shifted his feet. He asked if he should leave. The security guard asked if everyone was okay. I wanted to scream that I was not okay. Instead, I said yes, because people were watching, and I still cared about the picture of me. Ethan spoke softly and asked if I would keep my voice low. I said he did not get to tell me anything anymore. Ethan said he was not telling me. He was asking for calm. He said we were in public, and he wanted it respectful. That line made me feel trapped, because if I exploded, I would prove him right in front of strangers. I looked down again and forced myself to read. The document said Ethan was asking for a divorce. They also listed temporary rules, effective now. The home rules hit first. It said who could use the apartment and how. It said we should not block each other from personal items. It said we should not drain accounts. It said we should not change passwords or hide money. It said we should speak only about the child and logistics, not feelings. That one felt like a slap, because it meant he already learned not to argue with me. Then I saw the parenting schedule. It was written like a simple plan. Days, times, school pickups, and calls. It said Mia would stay with Ethan most weekdays for stability, and I would have set times. It also said we would use a structured method for messages about Mia. No late-night debates, no blaming, just facts. I wanted to laugh and say it was cold, but I also knew it was smart. I looked up and asked Ethan if he really wanted to take Mia from me. Ethan said he was not taking Mia. He said he was building a stable schedule. He said Mia deserved calm mornings and calm school nights. I said I could give her that too. Ethan said I could, but I had not, and he had proof of chaos. I asked what proof. Ethan said he was not going to argue details in a lobby, but he could name categories. He said he had my public posts that shamed him. He said he had messages where I used Mia as a shield in arguments. He said he had call logs and dates where I ignored Mia's request to talk. He said he had money entries tied to the beach condo. He said he had location history that did not match my stories. He said he saved it in a clear order because truth needed order. Barbara spoke then, still calm. She said she wished I had stopped earlier. Dennis said nothing, but he looked at the folder like it was a tool, not a weapon. That difference mattered. They were not here to hurt me. They were here to witness the end. I tried to pull the story back to my side. I said Ethan was doing this because he was jealous. I said he wanted to punish me for being confident. Ethan said he was not punishing me. He said he was ending a cycle. He said he had asked for respect many times, and I turned it into a joke. He said he would not live like that anymore. Jordan cleared his throat and said he needed to return upstairs. He said he hoped things stayed calm and professional at work. The words calm and professional sounded like a warning. I realized, in one hard moment, that my private mess had touched my public life. I looked around and saw a coworker near the entrance pretending not to watch. I saw the security guard watching anyway. I felt my stomach drop. Ethan said he would only talk about Mia going forward, and only in the structured way listed. He said if I needed to pick up items from the apartment, we would do it calmly and with notice. He said he would not fight. He said the papers explained next steps. Then he nodded to the woman who served me, like he was closing a meeting. I held the folder against my chest like it could keep me from falling apart. Ethan walked toward the exit with his parents. He did not look back at me. The glass doors opened, and cold air came in, and I read the top line again. Divorce filing, temporary orders, effective immediately, and my mouth went dry.